bottoms get through our tough cover and everything to find you, but they have a radar on them. That's what those ears are for, and they will pinpoint that sound right on the spot. So my advice is, if you don't get a response, just think that there's a coyote coming in and just wait it out. That's about all I can say. If you do get a response, there is a couple things you can do. If it's early in the morning and you're not ready to hunt yet, by all means annotate where you heard that from and go back to it later. Coyotes won't move that far from the area. The other thing you can do if you get a response is, and you're ready to hunt, is now to turn on the female interrogation howl or the female grouping howl. And the female grouping howl is something that shouldn't be mixed up with a sound that I hear far too often, and I know Whip has, I know other guys have. Plum Granny's hunted with me. You don't want to get into this sound. This is a challenge sound, and it's definitely a no-no. So keep this in mind. If you ever hear this, this is a challenge sound, and you don't want to reply back with this unless you're an old fart like me and you can reply back with a 400-pound male. So with this sound here, I'll go ahead and blow it for you so that you understand what you're hearing when you hear this particular sound. And again, this is a challenge bark. This is a challenge howl bark sequence. That's about all. I'm going to leave you with that. Don't try to mimic it, and whatever you do, don't use it in the field. It's just not recommended by myself. Instead, what you want to do is you want to go into the female challenge howl. Now, or female interrogation howl, or female grouping howl. Excuse me, I said challenge. I didn't mean that. And that particular sound is like this, and it's very methodical. It's very sequenced, and you take your time doing it. That's the trick to this sound: is bark, 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 howl. Bark, 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 howl. And it goes something like this. It's just that simple. Bark, 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 howl. Bark, 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 howl. I don't know of a coyote around that can resist that. Again, I'm not right on the tip of the reed. If I was, it would sound like this, and it sound like a little pup. And so you don't want to get into that. So what I'm saying is, those are the two types of things you should use here in Iowa. And along with the female interrogation howl, what I do is I continue to use that howl until I don't hear the pack responding anymore. Once the pack stops responding, you can almost bet that one critter out of that particular pack is heading your way to investigate what's going on and why that female is, which is you, is so intent on sticking at their grounds and not moving. So once you hear the barking stops from the other grouping howls or from the other responses, it's time to get ready. Now, I said this before and I'll say it again. Don't grandstand like Randy Anderson. Do not howl and then go into distress. That is something you don't want to do here in Iowa. The reason being is the coyotes here in Iowa, unlike out west, they have plenty to eat. They know they've got a long winter in front of you, and they are not going to risk injury no matter what. They know if an animal's out there crying, something's got it. It could be a dog. It could be a mountain lion. It could be a big old red-tailed hawk with bad talons. They're not going to screw around with those birds. They're not hungry. They don't need to be hungry. There's plenty of raccoons, possums, deer, gut piles, everything else to eat on. So they're not going to mess around with it. And it's getting that time of the year. They don't need to. So leave the distress call alone. However, after you've sat there for 15 or 20 minutes and you have actually spotted a coyote sneaking along the fence line or coming along the cornfield or basically coming somewhere in where he's sneaking, and he will sneak into this call because he's curious to see that other coyote out there, it's time to go into the lip squeak. And lip squeak is very easy. Some people suck on the back of their hands. Some people do it with their lips, and some people like me, I suck on the palm of my hand, and it really echoes out there. It's, and that may not sound like much, but that sounds good for 300 yards in any coyote. So, and they will come running. They come running straight into it, and it's easy shotgun range once they get in there. If you don't want to shoot them with a shotgun, of course, do like they show on all the videos. Yell at them, say, hey, you stop, or screw you, or you're dead meat, or bark, you know, whatever it takes to get them to stop. Try to get them to stop and then take your shot at a 50 to 150 yards, whatever it takes. Well, that's about it. I'm going to recap real quick with the two distinct calls here. One is the grouping howl, and that sounds like this. And then, of course, the second one is the female interrogation howl, and again, it's woof, 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 howl. Woof, 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 howl. That's it. It's just that simple, folks. I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope I taught some people some stuff. I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of you in person so I can give you a little hands-on coaching. But for those that I can, I hope this video helps a little bit. We'll be seeing you.